Perfect. Well, welcome to everybody, our Sunday night team call. We have some new faces, and I'm super excited about it. If my computer's on a delay and I look like a ninja not catching up with my voice, I am sorry, but I'm getting a new computer soon. But I wanted to talk about leadership tonight because I think that being a leader for yourself, being a leader if you have one customer, if you have a team under you, it's a huge component for this industry, and especially working your Plexus business and just growing on our own. And I know personal development, personal growth is huge, for all of us. And so I think that it's going to be really helpful to talk tonight about this. So I wanted to start with one of my favorite quotes. It's by John Quincy Adams. And it says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader. And I love that because I think that we are in the business of growing ourselves and growing others, but being able to grow as a person and encouraging others to grow also, I think is just the name of the game, especially for all of us. You know, what we are doing, we are hope dealers. We are sharing the love of the gift that we have, that we found for better health, but to also believe it as for ourselves. That's huge. We can't talk about something that we love so much if we don't have that unshakable belief of what the products have done for all of us. And I think that we're all on that same boat, whether if we're starting out, you're here for a reason, you've kind of drawn that line in the sand, or if you have your why in front of you of knowing what you want and where to take this, that's going to help you go further. So to encourage people to dream bigger than ever before, that's what we get to do. That's the coolest part. I think sometimes when a lot of people ask, what do you do? I don't even understand. We get to help people dream big, whether that's dreaming big about gaining their life back, about living the best version of themselves that they can live, about helping somebody retire at the age of 30, putting their kids through college, whatever that is, we get to help people dream bigger. And that makes me really excited. And we get to also help inspire our customers and our teams and ourselves step into strengths and reach full potential. And I didn't understand when I started out, like how much I was going to grow as a person just by this. I'm like, I don't get how I'm going to grow as a person. And I think that comes with, all of the reading that we do, all the educating that we do, the teachings that we do. We need to know ourselves. And it's really hard to inspire if we don't know who we are, if we're not comfortable in our own skin. Because if we're not comfortable in our own skin, we're not going to be comfortable in our leadership skin at all. And focusing on our best us, or your best you. And in network marketing especially, it's super easy to look around and compare ourselves to other people. I have been there. I have done that. 3.5 years of this. You're looking around and people are going at full speeds all around you. I have the t-shirt. I've been there. And it's so easy to fall into it and focus on what we are not good at, and not focus on what we are good at. I think that, it's all about the self-affirmation and positive talk, but the first things that we're able to go to, especially even like job interviews, you guys have been in job interviews, I am so quick to list my weaknesses and I struggle to write down my strengths. And that sucks because I think that we all have our own personal strengths, but we all focus so much on what we're not good at. And that helps. It doesn't really help anything. It makes us lose our joy, lose our strength, lose our focus, and it hurts your confidence. So while you might be trying to not compare yourself to others, it's really easy to do, and especially in life in general. You can look at someone for their ideas and admire other people, admire other leaders. There's tons of leaders in this business, and that's amazing. But if you're looking at them and trying to measure up to them, you're not them. They're not you. It's never going to be good for you trying to bring yourself to where you're supposed to be going, and growing as a leader. So bringing up leaders underneath you and within you is important. And the more people that you bring up underneath you, the more longevity that you're going to have in network marketing. And I think that that's kind of the goal and the name of the game, is to bring up leaders under us, train them, get them going, kind of like push them out of the nest and help them lead teams beneath us. But the cool part about Plexus is that there's no competition. Like, it's we help. There's so many people on our team page that are not on our team. And I love that because I'm a part of so many different team pages. You might be a part of different team pages. We're all learning. People that I have personally brought onto this journey with me, I'm not going to get upset if they go and talk to someone else for advice or motivation, because I love that. Like, that is the coolest part. Like, and I think that you should try to have that same outlook. If you have that happen, like, if somebody goes and talks to somebody, I think that is so awesome. And that's part of our culture. And I think that, like, my goal for our whole team, and to help you as a leader for your whole team, if you have them underneath you, is to have them have the goal and aspire to outperform you. I love that. And I think that I want nothing more than to help everybody reach their goals and outperform me. Like, I think that's a great thing, and it says a lot and speaks a lot of volume for our team. And because I think everybody kind of has that, everybody lends a helping hand and everybody tries to help each other grow. And I think it's great. And this is duplicated and modeled by the leader that has come before that person. It's the very first step in teaching duplication is to model it yourself. So a couple of things to think about, and ways to grow yourself as a leader, because the best way to teach it is to model it. And we want to work really hard on personal development. So you're going to find that we're not recreating the wheel. There's a lot of leadership books. John Maxwell, for one, great author. He's going to be at Leaders Retreat for all of you guys that are going. He is amazing. He's incredible. Listen to his YouTube videos. Get some of his books. John Addison, another one, amazing author. But seek out these videos and seek out the strengths. And I think one of the biggest things when trying to become the best leader is to understand what goes into leadership first. And that is vision. So you have to have a vision of where you want to take yourself, whether that's with the products, with the business, and where you want to take your team, and what is it going to take to get you there. So, like, if you're just starting out on the products, you can say, like, for me, I want my cholesterol to drop by 200 points. Well, that's awesome, but what am I going to have to do to get there? Like, I have to set an A to Z to get there. Or if you're doing this for the business and you're wanting financial freedom for yourself, you want to call your own shots, you want to punch your own time clock, you want to have somebody to tell you when you can take vacation, how are you going to get there? What is it going to take to get there? Because if you're working without a purpose, you're likely to become lost. And once you become lost, you're going to walk into roadblocks and not be able to get around them. So helping yourself have that vision and helping those around you have that vision as well is going to help give your team or yourself even an understanding of what's going to take to get you to the next level. And whether that be from like a pay point perspective, a navigation perspective, you got to ask yourself a few questions. I have some notes here, but and you can do this asking yourself, but also thinking about and asking your team. What are you lacking? What is your team lacking? What are you really good at? What is your team really good at? And what needs to be worked on? But don't overcomplicate it. Have a good understanding of how to get from, like we said, point A to point Z, and what it takes to get there, and what you need from yourself to do it, and what your team needs from you. Because I am super known for letting things phase out of my life, or just having this really good, great goal in mind and just not following through it and not pushing myself. And this is where I think we seek out from each other. I constantly use the word life cheerleaders, and I think we heard that at convention, and it was like a light bulb went off. Like, it's so right. Like, it's what we're here for, and it's what we lean on each other for. But seek out mentors for this. Talk to the person that got you started. Establish what your vision is going to look like for yourself, and have that clear vision and revisit it daily. Some of you guys are reading Miracle Morning. If you're not reading it, it is an amazing, amazing book. And after we get done with this, some of you, maybe one of you guys that are reading it, might want to talk about it, because it's a great book, and I think it helps revisit the same things daily of how to set things put in place for yourself. But here are the things that I think are really important when it comes to leadership tips, and I have 5 of them. The first one, keep your eyes on your own lane. And what do I mean by that? You can be there to encourage your friends on their journey and to watch other people, but you have to understand that you're on your very own unique journey. And whatever it is that you have set for yourself, if you have set for yourself, like, I'm going diamond, we're all going to get to diamond, but just focus on your final destination and stay the course. So just keep your eyes on your own lane. And again, this kind of goes back against, like, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't give up just because the person that started around the same time that you did is already on that stage at convention. It doesn't matter. This is all about you, all about what you're building and how you're doing it yourself. So keep your eye on your own lane. You have to make the decision to celebrate and to be excited and know that you're going to reach that destination also. So just make sure to keep your blinders on and just stay the course. The second one, you need to understand your own strengths. We're all created different. So what I'm good at might be a weakness for someone else. And what you're good at might not be my cup of tea. But when we figure out what our strengths are and what we're good at, that's when we operate with those strengths, that's when we're going to become more influential and inspiring to everybody around us. Because if we're constantly trying to fix our weaknesses all the time, we're not operating in our full potential. We're not maximizing any strengths that we have. I always make fun of myself because I am not tech savvy at all. Like, I thought my computer had a microphone on it for years, and it just does not. So, and those are little things. And Marty is like our tech guru. Like, those are things. But we need to stop focusing on what we're not good at again and focus on what we are good at. There is a book that I have not read yet, but I was talking to one of our sideline sisters. She might even be on this call, Jean Hamra, and she is her daughter takes stages with my daughter, and we were talking about a book today, and it's called Strengths-Based Leadership, and the author is Tom Rath, and it's Wrath, and it's called Strengths-Based Leadership. And at the end of this book, there is an online assessment that you can do, and it takes 30 minutes. And Sarah Brinkley, you're shaking your head. You might have already done this, but I'm really excited to do it. And it gives you your top 5 strengths after this online assessment. Because some of us might not know what our strengths are, but if we do this assessment, Sarah, have you done this before?
We had to do this as part of an assessment in my first district that I worked in Kansas City. So, and it's funny because your strengths change throughout the years, because mine, when I took it, 12 years ago, my strengths were all very academic, but I had just come out of college, so everything was very academic. And now all of my strengths now are more outwardly focused and, communication and things like that. So, I mean, if you can get it and take the quiz, it's eye-opening, but it's also sort of like, oh, well, duh, I knew that about myself. But it's really good.
That's awesome. I'm excited to do it. I have heard of it before, but I didn't realize that there was an assessment at the very end of it. And I think it would be a great thing to learn, about yourself for sure. So, and I'll post the name of the book. Oh, sorry, Marty.
No, I was just going to say, I did the Strengths Finders and then the Strengths Finders 2.0, which are other versions of that, and do the same assessment. And same, I think it's interesting to see and focus on what your strengths are and not where you're falling short. So, I mean, mine were all very kumbaya, like, what was it? Like harmony,
are you
responsibility. I don't even, they're all super like touchy feely. I love everybody. I want everybody to get along. So it was interesting.
Did you do that recently?
Probably 8 years ago. So okay. I'd be interested to do it again just to see if I've changed it all.
Yeah. Has anybody else done the Strength Finder or this book? No. I know. I'm gonna try to find it at the local library, but I'll post the name of it again underneath when we put up the recording, just in case anybody's interested in giving it a go. So where was I? Let's see. So understanding our own strengths. Okay, that was number 2. Number 3, determine other strengths on your team. So you need to know what other people's strengths are, and that's where you can focus on your team's strengths. But it gives them opportunities to utilize their strengths. So like for me, I think it was our second convention. I didn't, our team went from like 7 people our first convention and then just kind of skyrocketed. And I didn't when you have growth like that and it still continues to go, you still feel like this huge responsibility of like holding down the fort for everyone. And I felt like I was doing things at that time that our team needed, and I put this huge burden on myself. Like, I thought that I was like, had to run online events by myself, and I thought that I had to schedule all these things out on my own. And I had to learn as a leader, it's not my job to do everything. And it's my job to offer opportunity to all of you or to others to run with it and to lead with it. And that was a really hard shift for me, because I think you're constantly learning this whole time. You're learning about yourself. You're learning about all of the different things. There's so much out there. And I don't think I'm anywhere close at perfecting it, but it's something that I, as a leader, am working on constantly. Because when you're focusing on other people's strengths, that's going to mean so much to other people. And I've learned that by like one of the first, most of you actually have had the opportunity to do a team call. And I think it's great. And it gets me excited, and you see how excited other people get when you are putting that responsibility on them. And I'm not one that likes to delegate at all. And I used to feel like I was putting like burden on the plates of other people, that their plates are constantly full. But instead of seeing it as a burden, see it as an opportunity. And you can have that with your team by showing them that opportunity rather than seeing it as a burden. And it gives them an ability to create a culture and values what everybody brings to the table. Because this isn't like, on our huge, big team, it's not Team Nicole. It's a pink power team. Like, and I wish when I started, I would have picked a different name, because it always reminds me of like Jim and the Holograms. But it's a huge team effort, and it's exciting because when people are bringing their own strengths, that's when the growth happens. That's when magic happens. That's when everything shifts, and this whole team culture, creates a tribe full of respect and teamwork. And some of you that have your own team pages, if you guys are on here and you have a customer or a ambassador, and I emphasize because one makes you a leader. Create that team page. Become accountable. And if you are nervous, do it afraid. If you feel like it's crickets, get somebody else on your team. A couple of you guys are merged together, like Marty, you and Allison run your team page together, and Tara and Amanda. I think it's awesome, because I think that builds momentum, and it puts accountability on the other person too, and it makes them really feel like they're a part of something. And I think that's great, because that's when the sky's the limit. Then your team starts seeing 2 people posting, and they get excited, and those people, so it makes this whole momentum. And then as leaders, we don't have to be great at everything. And I think that's the mistake that we make. In order to be an effective leader, we think we have to be perfect. And that's not the case at all. In order to be a good leader, we just have to know our own journey and know what our strengths are, and figure out the strengths of other people around us. And I think that's really what effective leadership is. And it's not about having the right answers all the time. It's just about creating a culture of people that link arms together and just run together. So that is number 3. Number 4, good leaders are solid listeners. So focus on what your team needs and work on your listening skills. And if you're the one talking the most when you're supposed to be listening, be that, like what Emily Roberts says, be that lighthouse, be that beacon of light, and show people that you care about them. Because once you take the focus off yourself and your rank and focus on them and their rank and help them be successful, that's what's going to help duplicate from them to their team, and really going to make it be like a servant leadership role. And that's kind of what we all strive for. And then number 5, set the pace for your team. Be the pace setter. It's, you want a fast pace, but not an overwhelming pace. You want a pace that's filled with excitement, that keeps people committed, but also a pace that keeps people committed but going for growth. So be the pace setter on your team, because it's easy to let things slip through the cracks during the summer months or even now. It's easy to just kind of let things fall to the side. But if you show up every single day and you have visible activity, it's going to help your people and your team stay on track. And it's going to help you stay accountable and help your team stay accountable. And it helps with your own pace as well. So think about it. Are you still adding ambassadors? Are you still bringing customers on? Are you still taking your products consistently, drinking your water? It doesn't all have to do about the business. It's every little piece of this that all kind of comes together. Work on that
because that's going to help duplicate down that pace to your team. They say this, the speed of a leader is the speed of the team. So just think about that. And on the other half of the pace, bring excitement and energy to your team. Bring that belief. And as a leader, because you're the lighthouse, you're going to be that person that's setting the excitement. And if you have that never wavering belief, pass that on to other people. Even in our customer team page, if you guys have customers in the Live Your Best Life team page, feel free to post and to share your testimony, and to that definitely, I that's open for everyone to be on there and to just pour that belief into those, because I think the best ambassadors are what starts as the best customers that have the biggest belief. But let it ooze out of every core of your body, because if you feel like that belief and excitement is not contagious, you're wrong, because it is super contagious. And if you don't have that going for your team, it's going to be hard for your team to have that. So while you're talking to your team and coaching them, you're going to come against roadblocks and problems. Like, we're all familiar with the back office and the upgrade issues, and it's really hard to when we have those big things, it's really hard to be positive during that time when you're on hold for an hour. But if you teach your team to be positive thinking during those issues and turn everything into positive, now I'm not saying everything's perfect and whatever, but if you're positive and teach them to have that mindset and positive thinking, that's going to be a huge component of the leadership of what they're going to have for themselves and take down to their team, because it's about all the problem solving and the ways of thinking. That stuff's going to duplicate. And one of the big things that has helped me is finding other people who I may not even know. Like Sarah Marble's a huge person on personal development and growth and leadership. Finding those people that have those natural abilities of leadership, but also because a lot of these components can be taught, but finding those people that have the natural abilities, it's gonna help you pick out who on your team wants this, who wants this, who wants to run, who has that solid belief, who has the skills, who have the commitment. It doesn't matter if they just started, it doesn't matter what rank they are, because we can't coach or push somebody to be a leader that doesn't want it. So you have to figure out and choose people who have that potential, that are excited. Because when they're excited, they want to know where they can take this excitement and where they can go and run with it. And that's when those great leadership skills are deep down inside them that you can help bring out, because they might not know how to expel it from themselves, but if you help bring them out and empower them, it's going to really help. There is and speaking of watching people and following leaders, there's Sarah Taylor is a Diamond Ambassador, and she was at our, she had this year's Super Saturday or last year's, I can't remember. She is absolutely amazing. And her team did this, and I would love to duplicate this down to our team. The 21 Laws of Leadership, some of you guys might have read this and some of you guys haven't. I have kind of gone back and forth of different chapters. But the 21 Laws of Leadership is an awesome book. And what they did, and I wanted to see if anybody would be interested in doing this, they would read a chapter a week, and then they would jump on a Zoom call and discuss each chapter. So kind of like a focus group. And I think that would be awesome to do, especially we can all do individual things on our team, but I think if we have one type of training, especially when it comes to leadership, we're all leaders, whether it's leading ourselves or leading a team. If anybody's interested, I would love to kind of get that going. Everybody can purchase the book or get it from the library or however you want, but I think it's 10 chapters, so it would be 10 weeks long. So it's, one chapter a week I think would be pretty easy reading. But in the meantime, if you have someone on your team, they might not even know that they're this natural born leader, but empower them now. Give them something on your team page to do, or let them run something, or ask them for their ideas and their thoughts. Maybe to come up with a contest, or to do some posts or videos on your team page. Let them run something, and gives them some things to show that you believe them and that in them, and you can empower them. Because I think that everyone that you have brought on, they trust you and they believe in you and they support you. And some people have joined you because you're you, and some people have joined because they see what these products have done for you and they want to feel the same way. But start taking these people under your wing and help them build up your belief, because I think it's going to shift everything from a leadership perspective and from where your team is going and the success that you, and the momentum and excitement that your team can have. So those are my 5 tips. And I think we hit it like 28 minutes, but does anybody have anything to add or questions or thoughts about the focus group or anything like that?
I think the focus group would be great. And actually, I think it's funny that you even mentioned that, because today at church, Matt and I bought the John Maxwell, the 5 Ways to Leadership. I think that's what it's called, or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And him and I are going to do that, just like him, between ourselves. Like, I'm going to read a chapter, he's going to read a chapter, and then we're just going to sit down and just like talk about it and just do that. So like, even for on a team page, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. What do you guys think?
I'd be in, just from my own personal standpoint, I'd be way into listening. I don't know that I have time for more reading. Mm-hmm. 9 hours and starting a new job and everything like that. I mean, I would love to hear what it's about. With everything else I have going on, I would love to participate, but I don't know that I could like participate. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you're not reading it and joining the Zoom, I think we probably would all do a good job at like capturing, what the chapters are about.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a great idea. Let's do it.
Do you guys relate to some of the stuff as far as like being able to write down all your weaknesses rather than your strengths? Easy. Because I would be like getting ready for interviews and I'm like, oh, I got all my weaknesses. I'm like, what am I doing? Like I have like 20 weaknesses and I need to focus on, and that's so sad. It's like the struggle is real at finding what we're good at. But I think this brings a lot out of what people are good at, for sure.
Agreed.
And then you're confident, especially if you're starting to post or to share or you start thinking about like, the confidence that it brings you and not caring what anybody else thinks, because it just does not matter at all.
Mm-hmm. And I think like sometimes you just need that. Like I think you need that little, thing in your ear constantly reminding you, like no fear, no fear. And I think that, when reading and talking and all of that, I think it really helps build that confidence, and just kind of as a reminder, like, it's you were out there and we're trying to help people, and we're being a product of the product, and we can't care like what anybody else thinks. You can't, because if they don't want to be a part of it, then they don't have to. And it's not about them, so
right.
Yeah, I think it'd be a total confidence builder to be able to do that.
Yeah. I was at a football game last weekend, and somebody I know through like a mutual friend, I walked up and he was like, I am so close to hiding you on social media. And I was like, oh, that is so your loss. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I think like that is totally your loss. Yep. That's okay. Like,
yep.
Happens probably every single day, but that one person that hides you is that next person that comes and says like, I need your help. Like, I need you to help me change my life.
Yep.
And even though we're not doctors, we just have our own experience to share with other people. And I think that's the coolest part.
Agreed.
Does anybody have anything else or anything to add? Any questions?
I just wanted to add that it's funny that you just said that about somebody saying they wanted to unfollow you, because I certainly have had family that have unfollowed me. But I actually have had recently a couple people like who have zero to do with Plexus and are interested, but talking to me about it, like just starting to kind of bring it up. Telling me how much they appreciate my posts and that people are really watching and they're really listening and that they're well written. And I'm like, I'm copying and pasting all over the place. But yes, thank you. So it was encouraging just knowing that, we're just spending our time posting and being consistent as we can. And
yeah,
people compliment. That was new. And I feel like, all right, thanks.
And it might take a couple years, right? But it doesn't, however long it takes, you're not going anywhere because of it. So right. And I know like Marty, for you in the beginning, that was a huge struggle, I think, especially when it comes from the people that you're in your family. And they're like, you know, just stop. Like, what are you doing? You know, and yeah, I mean, that's I think that is one of the biggest hurdles and strengths that you can get past, to have that confidence to be like, I don't care what you think. Like, you're lost. Like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome that you've had people say that.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's Plexus posts or, you know, positive thoughts or
right.
Whatever that is, people are going to follow you and support you no matter what, if they're taking the products or if they're not. And if they're not, they will be in like a year, I promise. I promise.
They'll give in at some point.
I know. Anybody else have anything? No? Would you guys all be, I know, Sarah, you said you were like, would you guys all be interested in a focus group if I set it up? And like, whoever can do it can do it. And if not, you know, we'll have the Zoom calls and stuff, but I think it'll be a good way to start. And I was telling Sarah and I think Adrienne, I can't remember who was on right in the beginning. If you guys have anything for Jen, who's coming September 30th, which I'm so excited. And for those of you that can't make it, like, I would love to try to stream something, to see, I'm not tech savvy, but we'll have other people here that will help. But if you guys have anything to add to the agenda, we have training from 11 to 4. We can fit so much in there. Let me know what we can build on that agenda, because we're helping. Jen's gonna, we're gonna build it together, and this is all about you guys and all about what you want to talk about. And we have her by herself just for that short period of time, and I'm super pumped because I think it's gonna really help change a lot of things. Like, I'm more excited about this than I was for Super Saturday, because it's just so awesome that she's coming, and she'll just be able to teach us all. So think about, any questions you want to bring or anything that you want her to talk about specifically, and we'll build it from there.
Quick question about just kind of shifting over, but Super Saturday, talk to me about what that is. Cause I've heard it, but I don't know what that is.
So Jewel Ambassadors, it's all over the country. It's one Saturday in January. And they go all over the country, and it's for ambassadors only. And it is a specialized training, rejuvenating, like motivational. And they've had it in St. Louis, like ever since I started, except for last year. It was in Springfield, Illinois. That was the closest place, but it's going to be in cities all over. And there's 2 Jewel Ambassadors. Most of the time they're diamond, but sometimes they're emerald or sapphire, and they will go and they will be the presenters for that day. But it's just such a great opportunity for everybody in that room, and it really helps. They launch, they launched the Success Kit at one of them. Like, everybody got a sample of the Success Kit. So it's not new product launches, but it's new things that they're trying to improve and roll out, but also to help you grow your business. That's where the Rank Up Roadmap was announced and different things. So it's really a cool thing.
Awesome. Is it something that gets announced and you register for, or it's just like you just go?
Yeah, they do sell out. Like Springfield, I think, was sold out. So yeah, you do register for it. I think it's $25. Do you guys remember how much it cost? Or $15?
Yeah, I think it was like $19.99 or something. Yeah. It's not a lot.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you want to register as soon as it comes out, because I think it just depends on what city. I'm really hoping that Kansas City has one, because everybody traveled. We had such a huge group. I think we had like 20 of us in Springfield, and it was great. Like, I slept on a sweater covered with a sweater. Like, my goal was to get everybody to stay in free rooms, and who cares where you sleep? But like, it's a really great. We all try to go to the same city depending on where everybody is. But it's a really cool training. I like it even better. I mean, I love convention, but it's just more intimate and small, and the training is top notch for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? No? Well, thanks for joining on, guys. I'll post the link, and then I'll write the name of that Tom Rath book below. Oh gosh, are you guys still there? Okay, sorry. Thought I hit a button. So thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.